Get on your feet, Tiger fans. Let's get loud. Let's go. Let's get active. Let's go.
All right, today, should I say tonight on Uplayedtho, we have member of the South Carolina Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame, Clemson Athletic Hall of Fame, the first college football player, passed for 2,000, rushed for 1,000 in the season. One of my most dynamic quarterbacks to ever do it in college football. You know what I mean?
And ACC.
And ACC history.
Yep.
Public and motivational speaker, mentor to the youth, Mr. Woodrow, Woody, Dantzler. What's up, Woody?
What's up?
What's happening? Appreciate you. How y'all?
Yes, sir. Everything good, man. How you doing on this lovely evening?
Man, I'm good. Had me a nice little day out in the field and get to relax a little bit before I hit it again tomorrow.
All right.
Awesome, man. Hard-working man out here in South Carolina. So I just wanted to touch on, just go into the early days myself. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
And
yeah, I'm from Lexington. So Irmo and Lexington, I actually went to White Knoll High School, but we both had Orangeburg Wilkinson in our
on that schedule, yeah.
In our conference.
White Knoll wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
When I played.
It was 2 years, actually. Yeah, 2000 was the first year, so that was you came out in 98.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Graduate high school 97. So yep.
Yeah, so yeah, man, you know.
So that was our beginning in high school, right? So we watching college football in high school. So we know a lot about it. But
right. I did play Irmo at Lexington. They were in the region at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember. I know every game I played OW, we didn't come out victorious. But and last year we played, I wanted to get that one, but it didn't happen. Yeah. So high school, just looking at some of your high school stats, man, you almost had 100 touchdowns. You had 35 rushing, if I'm remembering that correctly, and 60 passing touchdowns, and over 7,000 yards passing, and over 3,000 yards rushing. So that dual threat quarterback kind of came early, didn't it?
Exactly. But shoot, that's interesting. I never knew that stat. We just went out and played ball. But yeah, I was in high school, man. All the credit goes Coach Brown and then office coordinator at the time, David Norman, who's since passed on. But he was the one who engineered that for us because, truth be told, I was bigger than all of my linemen. I had one lineman that was taller than me, who was about 6'1", but I still weighed more than him. He was about 6'1", about 170 something pounds. But for the most part, we weren't big guys up front. I think my next tallest lineman, everybody else was under 6 foot. So we wasn't gonna move you off the ball, but they were scrappy and they'd hold you up at the line. So he decided to move us from that I formation. We did a little bit of the ride the side, aka the option, triple option, out of the I formation, kind of that standard pro style offense. And he just took us from that and went to 4 wide shotgun, no huddle. And that's kind of how everything got going my 10th grade year.
Wow. So you want to touch on just
So yeah, man. All right. So at OW, man, what a lot of people might not know, man, you also ran track.
Yeah.
You came third in state in the 400 meters. So how's that for you, man? You enjoy running track?
Actually, that's one of the things I kind of do miss. I don't miss a lot of stuff, but those track meets were something fun. Yeah. Practice, as you know, practice was not fun. Shouts out to Ronald Goldhagen, who's still doing his thing up until this day. He was the one who actually changed the way that I run. I give him a lot of credit for my speed because I've always been fast. But when he taught me truly how to change because I had no knee lift, I was all back here. Mm-hmm. So he taught me the essence of the turnover. Getting my knees up, driving into the ground. Once he showed me that, man, it really took off with my speed. And it was the 400 hurdles,
Okay.
I remember when we first started, he asked me to start doing it because of my stride. He thought it would be perfect for me. And once I got over that concern of the hurdles, I'm not going to call it a fear, But once I got over that concern of the hurdle, was able to get my technique down, man, because I've always been a runner. I don't get tired. So that was just one of my races.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of the 400-meter hurdles, man, I got to give a quick shout out to my sister, Ashley Stevens. She went to Lexington High School, and she was in the finals in like 2000, I think 99 and 2000, and also had the school record at Winthrop University for the 400-meter hurdle. So I know that's a tough, a tough track there. I did high jump, so
yeah,
like you said, them track meets is fun, man. Like, you being out there all day, and especially in the meet, kind of walking around, meeting people from other schools and all that, man. So
and I think that was the best part, meeting people from other schools, man, because I still have lifelong relationships from those. Actually, I think of one in particular, a guy by the name of Tony Washington, who actually went to Clemson, got a scholarship. He ran track at Clemson, point hurdles. My junior year, he was in the race, and I didn't remember him. And I remember our senior year, he actually won it. So I placed second 2 years in a row. So the guy who won it my junior year graduated, so I thought it was going to be me the following year. And I asked Tony, where you come from? He said, oh, yeah, I was seventh in my junior year. He was seventh in the race. He finished seventh, and then he came back hit my senior year. I think it was his sophomore year, and won state championship. So I mean,
so he put in some work in the off season.
Yeah.
So one thing I know a lot of people talk about football and sports and whatnot, but what made you pick up the pigskin, originally?
Well, it was my dad. My dad and my uncle, really, but mostly my dad, because growing up, I mean, even to this day, I'm a ball of energy. I'm never lacking energy. I can go as long as I need to. So when I was a young kid, not knowing how to control that energy, what my dad did was introduce me to martial arts.
Okay.
And that's what began to teach me body control and discipline, and how to control and master this energy ball that I was. And then one day from there, after progressing so well in martial arts, that's where I got my start. One day he just asked me about playing football. And I said, yeah, and it was kind of birthed from there. Orangeburg Rec League, started with the Steelers, Bobby Rivers. But that's where it started. And then from there, it just kind of took off.
Okay. So you got recruited out of OW by Rick Stockstill?
Yep. Everyone, that question always comes up, why'd you choose Clemson? And I was like, man, growing up, only school I knew about was South Carolina State and Claflin, because that was in Orange.
Yeah.
Unlike most, I'm not a big sports fan. I don't watch it like that. I never had a team growing up. I didn't know about South Carolina. I didn't know about Clemson. All I knew was going to school, playing ball, come home, get my homework done, going outside. I'm a kid. I'm just enjoying life. And then when it came down to it, he was recruiting me come my senior year, because Coach Brown kind of kept us away from all of that. Doing that. A lot of us focusing on our schoolwork, a lot of us focusing on high school, being a high school student. It's not like this recruiting circuit that's going on, but that's another talk for today. But our senior years, when he started allowing us to get these letters that they were sending, which really weren't letters, it was just questionnaires that they wanted to get your information. We didn't have social media like no. So those questions come in, you feel like sending to the school, and they kind of track you from there. But Rick Stockstill, amongst everyone who came out, I had some good folks. Even Coach Strong from South Carolina, I really liked him too.
Strong.
Shit that you hold on to. But it was just Rick Stockstill. I chose Rick Stockstill. That's what I went. That's genuine. He was real. I felt he was trustworthy. Parents fell in love with him. I fell in love with him. So I chose Rick Stockstill. He so happened to be at Clemson.
That's cool, man. And shout out to Orangeburg one more time, man. My parents went to state, so they go to homecoming every year. So I'm pretty still familiar with Orangeburg and go down there.
Yeah.
Shout out to OW.
Yes, sir.
OW. Yeah. So let's move on to your Clemson days.
Okay. Hey, but before we do that, man, can I do something real quick?
What you got, Keys?
Hey, before we move to the Woody days, man, I gotta do something, man. I gotta do something real quick. Hold up.
You good? What you?
Oh man, hold up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Had to throw that number one on, man. I had to throw the number one on, baby.
That's neat right there. Appreciate the love.
Got you. Yes, sir, man. Been had this, man. Like, Like I said, we've been lifelong Tigers, man, and so man, we're gonna get into some Clemson times, man, and I know all the big moments. I remember them like it was yesterday. Definitely remember '99 North Carolina game.
Yep.
Brandon Streeter broke his collarbone that game, and I remember I was in the car I was in the van, that's like a blue minivan. I was in the back. We was listening to the game on the radio, and I remember when you came in and you had that 56-yard touchdown run against North Carolina to seal that game. You know what I mean? So what about that moment, man? Can you take us to that moment as far as you coming in the game and all that and what your feelings and emotions was?
Getting that opportunity.
I've always been that team guy. So I've always been the one to prepare. Because one thing my dad, when he sent me off to school, he told me two things. Well, growing up, one thing that he always taught me, if I'm going to do something, then do it. Essentially meaning that don't halfway do anything. Don't give 75%, 80%. If you're going to do something, put your all into it. Schoolwork, friendship, whatever you're doing, put your all into it. So I'm on that practice field. I'm practicing. I'm in the meeting room. I'm staying focused because, like you said, you never know when your numbers will be called. Because, quick caveat, shout out to Brandon Streeter. That was the toughest joker I had the privilege of playing with. And I say that because of this. When we was in spring ball, Brandon dislocated his ankle at spring ball. He comes back for that. He makes the season starter. The first game of the season. Then a couple of games in, North Carolina breaks his collarbone. Comes back from that in the same season. Georgia Tech dislocates his hip. Still makes it back to play in the bowl game against was it Mississippi State that year in the Peach Bowl.
Yep.
So that's one tough joker. But I mean, he was a tremendous success for me because he's a coach's kid. And even though we were practicing together, he would always show me things, teach me, give me insight, which is surprising him not being a coach. Even when he was on the sideline, he was talking to me, talking to Coach Rodriguez, and talking to Coach Dantzler. So those things kind of helped me involved in just getting out there and getting the feel of the game. I think one of the big things was and realizing I wasn't Brandon Streeter. Yes, I could sit in the pocket and throw the ball, but I also had another aspect to my game. And when I first went in, you kind of tracked in the game. When I first went in, they were kind of tight with the play calling. They didn't think I could handle it. I wasn't battle tested. So I remember coming out of halftime and the coach saying, "Look, we opened up the playbook. We're gonna live or die. It's up to you." And we came out, and that first drive through that pass to Rod, he scored. Had some good successful drives, and like you mentioned, that last touchdown on the draw play to kind of seal the game was crucial. But it's just all being able to gain the trust of my coaches and my teammates. But all I have is practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're a redshirt freshman at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then so also in '99, so Streeter gets hurt. So then we got you at the Maryland game.
Breaking records.
Yeah, that's when you started entering some record books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had 435 total yards of offense. You was out there just doing the thing, man. Travis Zachary was one of his favorite players.
One of my favorite players.
You know what I'm saying?
That was my favorite players. We communicated. I can really sit and think back to how much we communicated without communicating.
Yeah.
You know, the field. We sit on the bench. I just look at him. He looks at me. And we already know what's being said. And that dude had my back. I just remember one play in particular. This was maybe a couple of years later. And I get hit, laid out of bounds, and I end up falling over the opponent's team bench and land on my back. And I look up and I see a sea of the other color. But then the next thing I see is that number 8 coming to grab me up and pull me out the crowd. I'm like, that's my dog.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Like to get that chemistry, man. And I know T-Zack celebration was the
Yeah.
Get your roll on, you know what I mean?
Man,
That's classic.
That's all I can remember is Woody Dantzler, Travis Zachary, man.
I paid homage to him a lot when I played arena ball. So when I scored, that's what I would do.
Word. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice, man. That's a good little
tidbit. Yeah. We gotta find that footage, man. We gotta find that footage somewhere. Okay.
Yeah. So and still in the '99 season, man, the big rivalry game, down in Williams-Brice. You hit Rod. Shout out to Rod Gardner. He's actually married to his wife. I went to high school with his wife.
Okay.
But shout out to Rod. He had a 29-yard touchdown reception late in that game. That kind of won on 4th down at that.
Yep.
Yep. So I remember that being a big play. And man, so how do you feel about the rivalry games? Because we're gonna go to 2000 in a minute. I just want to see how do you feel about the '99 South Carolina game.
That was a special game for me because I got to go against one of my high school teammates, Turo Frank.
Okay.
So that was last year. When I was a 9th grader at OW, he was a senior.
Okay.
So we had a good relationship. Now we had a nice little bet, before that game. And luckily, I kind of got a little edge on him. I threw 2 of them on him, so that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. But the competitor he is, man, I really appreciate that Turo for everything he did. Even as a freshman in high school, him taking me along with Eddie and some other guys, Justin Danner, those guys taking me under their wing, showing me the ropes, seeing my talent, pushing me to be better. So I really appreciate those guys. But yeah, that game was fun. I remember that. I remember that vividly.
Okay. All right, we're gonna jump into 2000s against the University of Virginia. Set the ACC rushing record by a quarterback. Man,
went crazy, boy. Went crazy on them boys, man.
220, was it 220?
220 on the ground. I distinctly remember the 75-yarder, the 45-yarder. That's just the rushing touchdowns, and then so that game, that was like the 4th straight game of 100 yards rushing and 300 yards of total offense, first in NCAA history at the moment as well. So, what you remember about that 2000 Virginia game? Because 2000 was y'all started off great, had a great season, and then I know you got injured later in the year. But what you remember about the Virginia game though?
First, before we get into the Virginia game, I gotta commend you guys. Y'all boys throwing out some stats, and I'm sitting there like, wow, I didn't know that. So y'all. Yeah. Professionalism is on point, man. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
Right,
appreciate it,
man. That's good stuff, man. But yeah, that
the legend, man. We had to come with it.
Oh yeah, you had to, man.
Brothers doing it right, man. Gotta love it. But yeah, that Virginia guy. I remember us getting out to a slow start. We was on the road. We got off to a slow start, and we were undefeated at that time. Yeah, we was on the way up. 2000, that first half of the season was tremendous.
Yeah.
And Jordan Reeves gets a punt.
Number 16.
Back to the house, it kind of ignites the team, and then we proceed to roll off score after score after score. So that's essentially what happened. It took us a little while because Virginia actually always had a pretty decent team, especially they had a combo linebacker core.
Yeah, that was asking.
Top in the ACC, top in the country.
Yeah.
I remember pretty good. So once we figured out, and then the tempo of the game, that's one thing Coach Rod would do, especially when we're not really moving the ball, we're not getting access like we won, and the defense playing very solid. We just say bump it. They're not in better condition than us. When we snap the ball before 18 seconds, before 20 seconds, as soon as that ball is spot, we running the ball. We might run the same play 3 times in a row, 2 times in a row. We just gonna line up and go. If you can't keep up with it, it's gonna run you in the ground. And that's what we basically roll them out a little bit and begin to pull away. But like I said, Joe Don sparked all of that with that punt return.
Yeah, he was an athlete on the special teams, man. Yeah. And real quick, was Thomas Davis, was he running back for Virginia at that time? You remember?
I don't think he was. I think he was the year before. I think he was gone.
Okay,
he
maybe
might
early.
I think he might have been gone. Okay. Thomas Jones, right?
Yeah, my bad. Thomas Jones. Yeah, Thomas
Jones.
Yeah,
I think he was gone. I want to say he was gone. Sure.
Okay. But then so 2000's a great year, 8-0. I do remember I think you got hurt before the North Carolina game at North Carolina. Willie Shotgun Simmons come in. He threw 4 touchdowns. A Rod was out there eating. Who else? Dang. What's my man's name?
Robinson got 1.
Yeah. So and I remember that Georgia Tech game. So you wanna go ahead 2001?
2001.
Well, I gotta give shouts out. I gotta give shouts out to my guy Willie. Because we'll get to this probably later on. We're talking about, especially when we get into 2001. But that was my coach. You want to see why he's doing so great down at FAMU? Because he's so doggone. The dude came in as if I'm not mistaken, when he came into college, he was already like 2nd semester sophomore. The dude was brilliant.
Yeah.
And his football IQ was off the charts. Many times I come off the field and I talk to him before I would talk to the coach. And I remember that game. I was really honestly before I got hurt in that game, And even before I got hurt in that game, I just couldn't get in my rhythm, couldn't get nothing going. And when I got hurt, came out, and Willie came in, he immediately go out and score. He scores again. Then we go out. I remember going into halftime, coming out, and Coach Bowden came up to me and said, "Are you ready to go back in?" I said, "No, Willie's balling. Let him keep playing." I wasn't doing nothing. So why am I go back in the game with my no rhythm, stinking up the field type self? Let the boy eat, man. And like I said, he brought us back from behind, threw the 4 touchdowns, and brought us back to victory. So,
had that momentum going.
Yeah. And again, that's that family vibe that we all have. Most people are like, man, I'm the starter. I need to get back in there and about that. Willie was doing his thing. Do your thing, Willie.
Shout out to Willie, man.
Yeah, shout out to Willie Shotgun Simmons. Down there thing at FAMU.
Yep.
And the coach and Woodrow.
We gotta get FAMU on the Uplayedtho wall up here.
Oh, I know.
Yes,
man.
you do. Got to.
Representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to 2001 against Georgia Tech.
Ooh, boy.
Won the game in overtime with 11-yard touchdown run.
3rd and 6.
On 3rd and 6. Talk us through that. It was a tough game, 47-44.
I'll say tough game. It's just a tough rivalry. I want to say for a span of what? I think 5 or 6 straight years, that game was decided by exactly 3 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the notch had been going to Georgia Tech up until that point. And I just remember, first of all, I remember like fumbling on the first or second play and Coach Bowden threatening to take me out the game.
Yeah.
But then from there, we just, those things, you get in the zone, you get in the rhythm, you start seeing what they're doing, and you get in that space to where you like almost Jesus, like walking on water. Just everything just felt right. Even that last run right before halftime.
Yep.
For trekking through, and I know we had a little bit of time on the clock. So as I'm running, I'm literally thinking you need to get down and call a timeout. Like the seat open up, I just start seeing my guys come through, block it, and I made through the end zone. And somebody threw beer on me because I ran through the end zone into the tunnel, and I remember someone throwing beer on me, and I smelled it running back to the locker room. But yeah,
I would say, man, that's one of my all-time favorite games. I remember the run right before half that gave us some momentum going into half, but
your blood pressure right here. You just
but 4th quarter though, it was 4th and 8. Y'all needed to drive. You get a false start. Now it's 4th and 13. Like, all right, so and I just never forget the announcer. All right, the Tigers realistically need 13 yards to keep their chance alive. So you were scrambling around the back there. McKelvey, touchdown. Like, man, I love that play, man. Like when you found JJ McKelvey and that tied to the game, go to overtime, and then you got the 3rd and 6, and you run in on that 3rd and 6, man, and like you right there by the student section, somebody tried to hit you with a pom-pom.
Tried to, she hit me. Yeah, she sure did hit me. But here, let's back up a little bit. That's a Willie Simmons play too. Told you that joker was smart.
The McKelvey play.
Right before that drive, Willie pulled me, came and said, "Hey man, listen. Next time, remember when you get ready to go, because we've been killing them with the draw, so they were really keying in on me." He said, "Next time you get ready to go scramble, pick your head up because they're gonna come to you. Somebody gonna be open deep." And that's exactly what happened. When I was in the pocket, they was playing deep cover 2 shell. But then when they saw me kind of shift like I was going to break outside the pocket, matter of fact, one of my friends, Chris Young, he was the DB at that time for Georgia Tech. He peeked in the backfield, he turned like he gonna come up, let JJ get behind him, just put the ball up again because Willie said, next time you get ready to scramble, look downfield because somebody gonna be up because they're gonna come to try to tackle.
Yeah.
And that's just the brilliance of Willie Simmons.
Yeah. We did miss one thing on 2000 though. Just one thing.
2000?
One thing. The catch.
Rod Gardner.
The catch against Carolina. What a beautiful moment in this rivalry. I remember it was so cold that day too. It was it was like almost sleeting or something and cold the whole day.
Pretty cold that game.
What's your memory? And Aaron Hunt hit the game-winning field goal. So what's your memories about the catch and just moments of that game?
So, I mean, just for all my Carolina buddies out there, yes, he did push off. Let's just clear that up. Yeah, he pushed off. So what? But and I always say this too, he pushed off, but let's back it up. Remember when they went in to score, we had them on 3rd and long. And they called a pass interference on Alex, a ghost pass interference that gave them the first down that allowed them to get in to go score. And matter of fact, this is what happened. I'm gonna tell you how great God is. When I think it was Derek Watts, another good friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
When he fumbled, the ball went to the end zone, the lineman fell up for a touchdown. I just had this overwhelming feeling like, look, I'm like, we're gonna win this game. I didn't say one thing, but that's the feeling I had. And I looked at my lineman. I remember seeing Kyle, TJ, Will. You know, they see, it's like when they looked in my eyes, they knew what I was saying. So, matter of fact, I think Will smiled at me or winked. Or maybe Kyle winked, Kyle winked. Kyle winked, Will smiled. And then when I looked at Zach, he already knew what was up. So we get down there, we have no time up. I get downfield. And I remember that time out right before that, Rod doing this. He's like, look, he's doing this. He said, "We're anywhere in this area, I'm catching it."
Yeah. Okay.
So,
that's a dog for you.
Yeah.
So we get down to the play. We roll to the left. It was just roll left, throw back right. That's all the sitting. They move throwing the ball. He catches it. This is what I do. He catches the ball. I look to the sideline to see if we're going to spike it or call timeout. What you want to do, coach? So end up calling it because of the clock stop. We had to get down there and spike the ball. Aaron Hunt comes onto the field to kick the field goal. Guess what I do? I go to the locker room. So I know the game's over.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't on the field. I wasn't out there. I already knew he was going to make the kick, but it was confirmed that he made the kick when I heard the eruption. By the time I came into the locker room, I was already dressed and clean and ready to go. Because I already knew it was going to be pandemonium. Like I said, as soon as he fumbled that ball and went in, I just knew he was going to win. So when the field goal team hit the field, I was already in the locker room, ready to go. And then one more part to that story that I love to tell. So again, Charlie Strong, great coach. Really love the guy. I remember running into him a couple of years later. He said, "You almost got me fired." And I was like, "Talking about?" He said, "I got the DB name." Slipped my mind just that quick. He said after the game, he went up. He said, "Why did you let him get behind you?" And he said the DB looked him in the face and said, "Well, I didn't think he could throw that far." And he said, man, everything in him not to put his hands around his throat. And he said, if you would have did that, he would have gotten fired that night on the spot.
Yeah.
So, the stories, man, it's just crazy. But yeah, that was a game. That was one of those games that just happened.
And we getting the stories inside the stories that never heard before stories of this intense rivalry, Carolina Clemson. That's as long as you've been, if you're a South Carolina resident, man, you gotta pick a side. Man, I don't care. Nah, you gotta pick somebody. That's how we always kind of grew up with it.
Yeah. My whole family.
Let me pause for a minute. Just give shouts out to my guy, man. Because actually, Phil Petty played with him in the Shrine Bowl. Coming out of high school with the Boiling Springs, and man, he tragically passed a couple years ago, and man, that was heartbreaking. But that was another part of the rivalry. Man, I love that dude.
Sorry to hear that, man. Prayers out to the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we want to go ahead and move on to let's see.
Yeah, what else we got, man? Because we got some good things on tap still.
Yeah. So drafted free agent to the Dallas Cowboys, or undrafted free agent. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
We got you. With you.
So just put this out there. The Dallas Cowboys are my dad's favorite team. I'm a Jets fan, but the Dallas Cowboys were my dad's favorite team. And I can remember you running that. I think it was a kickoff. I think it was running the kickoff.
Yes.
And man, he was so excited, and he said, "Brendan, ain't that your boy? Ain't that your boy?" Yeah, man. Tiptoeing down the sideline, man.
84-yarder.
Just talk about that. Just talk about that process of being a free agent in the NFL and working hard, having to change positions, and what that kind of meant to you.
Well, see, like I said, I'm a different breed. So by that time in my life, I was on a totally different mission. I mean, going to college really wasn't, wanted to go to college, wanted to pursue my education, but wasn't sure how I was going to get there because we didn't have the money to pay for college. Thank God for the scholarship, so we did that. But even the league, If I go, I go. If I don't, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what my brain was when they started talking about possibility of going. At that time, even let's really back this up, because this happened really in '99. By the time I got to my senior year in 2001, I was really walking step in step with God. Me and Jesus was getting down for real. So during that time, it was like, well, God, if you want me there, you'll put me there for your purpose. And that was my goal. And again, and everything you do it unto the Lord. Essentially the same thing what my dad was telling me. If you're going to do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
So just training and preparation. So I got to shoot running back. I don't got to worry about one position. Oh, that's nothing. That's cake. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that. So it was just, I've always been a worker. Always been the one, again, don't get tired. I can run forever, train. And as soon as I get a hold of something, I lock in on it just by work, just by working through it and working hard, getting tips. So, drafted free agent. I gotta tell this story too. I remember coming out, getting ready for the NFL draft. Shouts out to Mike Foster. He was a track coach at the time, and he was helping with my 40. So as we're walking to the field, he's asking me this question. He's saying, "So, why do you want to play the NFL?" You know me, I'm a kid. Oh, because it's fun. I like playing ball.
Yeah.
Okay. And he asked me again, and he says, "Why do you want to play ball in the NFL?" And I said, "I enjoy being on the field with my teammates and having a good time and playing one for another." And he said, "Okay, good." And then we finally get to the track, and he paused and he looked at me. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more time. And before you answer me, I want you to think about the question. Why do you want to play in the National Football League?" And I paused for a minute, and I thought about my mom, and I thought about my dad. So my mom, I tell a story. My mom worked third shift for 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the bus. She was always there for us. We come home. She goes to work 11 o'clock at night. She gets off at 7. We get to school. We got breakfast. We got food. When we get home at night, everything's taken care of. My dad fought in Vietnam, got mixed up in Agent Orange, that chemical, and for my whole life he's been disabled, and he eventually succumbed to the effects of that chemical. Back in 2005, he passed away. So, but in that moment, I'm thinking about my mom, my dad. I said, my mom had to suffer and struggle. I won't be able to take care of my dad. I will take him. He said, "Okay, that's it." So whenever you feel like you don't want to, when you're tired, when you're about fed up with this stuff, I want you to remember your mom and your dad, and that's what's going to keep you going. So to answer your question, how did I get through that transition? The transition of trying to switch from a mentality of a QB to a running back, having the block. I think come in the Shrine Bowl, I'm playing running back, and Florida, the Gators had this #1 draft pick, defensive end, that I just so happened to line up with in the one-on-one blocking drills, and he's coming my way, and I got to block him, and I don't know nothing about blocking. So stuff like that. I don't. This dude's gonna take my neck off. But you know what? Step up to. So that was one of those stories that just really pushed me to stay on the field early, stay late, talk, work. Figure out guys who've been doing it. Travis Zachary, for example, helping me out. How to take a handoff. I know how to give a handoff, but how do I take a handoff? So Travis was real instrumental in that. So just my willingness to learn and be a student over and over and over again. That's what helped me. And got there, went through the preseason, did well, still got cut, and they signed me to the practice squad. That game against the San Francisco 49ers, again, you're not gonna get me down because I'm on another level. I'm not one of those guys who put my whole life in football. It was just something that was going to take me to a higher calling. We'll probably get to that later. That was my first game in the NFL. They called me up from the practice squad that week against San Francisco. My first time on the field. My third kickoff return in the game, I scored a touchdown where I went the wrong way.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So it's just one of those things of mental focus, preparation, and as they say, when preparation meets opportunity,
Yes, sir.
You know what the results are. So, hope that answers the question.
Yeah, awesome stuff, man.
definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So just talking about the NFL, man, that was a lot. There was a lot to unpack there. So how'd you end up with Atlanta?
I was released from Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas released me. Atlanta picked me up.
Okay.
Now I'm starting to think about those relationships. Even going back to when I was in with Cowboys, fresh and rookie minicamp. Going through rookie minicamp, and I'm talking about inspiration. You see why Emmitt Smith broke the NFL rushing record. Because we're in rookie minicamp. He's the only veteran out there. He's double digits in at this time. But he's coming out to rookie minicamp, working out, going through drills, running plays. Wow. So that really shows you what it really takes to be a professional. So I learned a lot from a lot of those guys. It's awesome.
So real quick, are you a Cowboy fan?
No, like I said, growing up, didn't follow sports that much. I will say this. I did have a team. The only team I ever really had, I don't really count the 49ers. That was my dad's team. I used to watch that with him every now and then. But when I started getting outside, my only team I ever really had was the Houston Oilers and the quad squad with Warren Moon.
Yeah.
But that's the only team I ever really had. Duncan, Hill, Gibbons, and Jeffries, those boys. But once that team kind of dismantled and Warren moved from, he's the reason why I wore #1. Because I'm out of my game after Warren moved. So after he moved from there to Seattle, a different place he went, once he finished, I didn't have a team. I followed Warren Moon after the Oilers, and then after that, I didn't have anyone to follow. Right now, currently, I essentially follow former Clemson guys because I know them. I've developed relationships with them. Some of them I mentored. Some of them I just know. So I'm curious to how it's being that they're from Tiger Town. I'll follow them, so I'll kind of keep up with what they're doing with their teams, where they're at, and how they played. I may catch them if I can catch them on TV just to see for a little bit. But as far as having a team, no, I don't have one.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of Tiger Town, one thing that Keys and I always say is you really started the dual kind of quarterback recruiting desire for that, right? So you, Michael Vick, like you guys were kind of the pioneers. And it looks like now when recruiting college quarterbacks, especially college quarterbacks, they're looking for that versatility. You've seen Taj Boyd, kind of dual threat. Deshaun Watson, right? And even Trevor Lawrence to an extent. He had wheels on him too.
He got some wheels on him.
So
he did.
How do you feel the quarterback position has really changed? Because back when you were doing your thing, it was, I'm not gonna say it was frowned upon, but it was kind of like an unorthodox. Everybody looked at it like it was unorthodox.
It's different. Yeah, you're right. It's different, and it's just the maturation of the game. As you can see, these guys. Let's just sticking with the Clemson Carolina theme. When you think about even a John Abraham, you think about Kalimba Edwards, Julius Peppers, Ebenezer Eckerball. You think about these different guys on the other side of the ball who are big, strong, and probably just as fast as a lot of your skill guys. Not everybody can be a Tom Brady and sit in the pocket and dissect you and run a 5.2 40, because these guys on the other side of the ball are so fast. You got to be able to move as well. I mean, you got studs up front that can protect you, but every now and then the pocket will break down, and you got to be able to move. You got to be able to get out and create with your feet, because defenses have gotten, because before it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. If I can stop you up front and be big and bulky and all, that was done away with. Once those defensive guys got bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, more athletic, the QB position had to evolve as well. You're gonna have some problems, unless you had a Tom Brady. But that's just how it is, man. So, and you see that now. Guys like myself, Michael Vick, Antoine Randall, back a little ago, Tommy Frazier, those guys basically. And I always shout out hometown. I never got a chance to meet them, but Otis Sally. Some of those on-road folks, you go look up, you think about Otis Sally, you should tell me that's who that I reminded them of, because he was that guy. He was smooth. He was that dual threat guy before I was. And essentially, I say all that each generation is supposed to set the next generation up to go further. So guys like myself and, like I said, Randall, we got the conversation going. We got the conversation started. You got people looking differently at what the quarterback position can be about, and not just that guy, Yeah, we could sit in the pocket and pick apart defenses, but when it's time to improvise, we could do that too. So that was just a new conversation that we got started, and now these guys are being able to be out there and really showcase their talents, and not feel like they have to conform to a particular style to play QB.
Okay, and I do want to mention one more dual threat quarterback. So we did mention at the top of the show. Congrats on being a South Carolina Athletic Hall of Fame member now.
Yes.
You were also inducted with J.O. Jermaine O'Neal.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And also,
my guy.
Joe Hamilton. One of other dual threats. Y'all had a great battle in '99. He's a Georgia Tech. So he was another one that, man, he was nice, man. And I remember that game. Y'all was going back and forth because you ain't, like, back then you didn't see that in college football, man. You didn't see, especially two black quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Doing it like that at that level. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
both from the low country.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was awesome. That was an awesome game. I remember just hugging that boy's neck after the game, man, and him whispering these words of encouragement to me. And ever since then, good friends. Again, rivalries turn friends. We low country boys first. But he's Georgia Tech. I'm Clemson. Still lifelong friendships, man. It's beautiful.
That's what's up, man.
All right, so taking it back to Tiger Town, Clemson's won a couple of championships. This year probably is not going the way that a lot of people thought it would. Just want to get your thoughts on how do you feel about some of the current players? How do you feel about Cade and kind of what he's going through as he matures into the quarterback position?
That dude is dynamic. I like giving nicknames, and I actually named him the All Spark. And when I say that is because he, like myself, he has so much energy, has so much life. He just brings a different feel to the game. When he gets in there, it's like he's there. And he's that spark. He's the life of the team. And I told him that. And essentially for him, what he's gonna have to be able to do, and when he does it, he's close. He's real close. It's that thing called meekness, power under control. You got to know when to let it. I don't know if you remember the movie. What is it? The basketball movie with the all black players going against Kentucky. What's the name of that movie? Glory, yes. Glory. And Big Ladder, he was like, you hold on to it, I'll tell you when to let it out. So he needs to learn when to let out that monster, when to keep it contained, when to take the safe play, when to not try to force it. So those certain days he'll grow mature, because I got to remember, it's the second year in college football. I keep forgetting because I look up to him literally because he's so taller than I am. And I'm thinking this kid has grown more than he is, but he's still a second year. And as he gets more games under his belt, as he studies film a little bit more, as he continues to progress, because he has all that he can make and throw, and he's probably one of the fastest people on the team to go back that dual quarterback deal. He's just it's the growth and maturity of learning when and how to let that monster out, hold that monster, and make it smarter plays. But he's so close, so close. Love that guy.
Okay.
Awesome. So just want to get your opinion on a couple of things here. So what I've noticed from the quarterback position in the pros now, when you're drafted, they're really, if you're drafted high, they want you to start immediately, right? You don't have that time to sit back, get used to the game, get used to the speed, get a lot of practice games under you. They want to kind of throw you out there as soon as the season starts. And it seems like, with a lot of the, high school football, it seems like football has gotten so big now, where like you have a Cade that goes out there as a true freshman, and we know what happened with kind of with DJ and the opportunities that Cade was able to get. But these quarterbacks seems like they're getting younger and younger in these starting positions. How do you feel about the lack of the opportunity for maturation to sit behind quarterbacks? You sat behind Brandon Streeter and had the opportunity to kind of get your bearings behind you before you had your first start.
Well, how can I say this? the right way. Well, I'll just say it. One of the things that I'm noticing, these kids are developing physically, but they're not developing mentally.
Okay.
And that goes twofold. It's the understanding of the game. I train QBs as well, and I'm part of a group that trains QBs as well. Shout out to Ramon, QB Legacy. But we train QBs, and a lot of these kids as QBs in high school can't tell you the difference between cover 3 and cover 2. Don't understand how to read a linebacker to know whether I'm gonna throw to the curl or the flat. And just coming off the quarterback position, a lot of these kids don't understand, if I'm a linebacker and the guard blocks down, this is when I feel. Or, if the guard pulls, I need to trace and do something else. They don't understand these fundamentals. That's why, one of the things Coach Tommy Brown coined this phrase, and I took it from him and made it part of my training. If you can learn the fundamentals of your position, you can play in any system. Right now, so many coaches, all they're teaching is their system. And they're not teaching the fundamentals to these kids. So when they get to the next level, they're not able to flourish because they don't have those fundamentals down. And that's what you see in this game, because they're not taking the time. They don't, especially when you get to college, definitely when you get to pros, they ain't taking no time to teach you these fundamentals. That's why most of these guys have private trainers, private QB trainers, try to run a back trainer. You got your own private trainer because they're not teaching that on that level. In college, they're not teaching you that stuff. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. And then even another part of that is the mental part of the game, but then the mental and emotional stuff that comes with it. You got NIL, you got school, you got pressures from the fans, you got pressures from community, you got that part. And so you got a lot of people actually hiring therapists to be on football staffs and college staff because the pressure that they're dealing with, just even from home life, they're not developing enough mentally, and you got to come alongside them and help them with that. So that's the biggest thing. Like I said, they're physically capable to play these positions, but it's just mentally, we need to really come alongside them.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. That's kind of breaking it down, and that's kind of where our mental is, right? We love college football. We love the NFL, but to me, college football has always been more passionate to me because it wasn't about the money, right? And now, you got the schools that are investing in, they're putting more money into it now, right? And it's more so not about, making sure that the, student athletes are mature and can kind of handle what they need to handle. Sit back and look at your example ahead of you, right? If you don't have an example ahead of you, you gotta figure it out yourself. So I'm glad you spoke on that.
Yeah. Hey, and speaking of the schools putting all this money into all that, I'm gonna show you something, Woody. I got a ticket. I still got it, bro. Clemson versus North Carolina State, October 7, 2000. You versus Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
$25.
How much?
The ticket was $25.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you, where we're at as far as that. But
you can't get a hot dog at the game now for $25.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like you go to the concession stand and get a Coke and some napkins. That'd be $8. Like that'd be $8. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
But yeah, man, I still had that. I was at that game, man. You versus Phillip Rivers, the Textile Bowl. That was also a good rivalry with North Carolina State. In the 2000s. You had some numbers that game too, man. Do you remember anything about that game in particular?
Yeah, messing around, like I said, these games. I actually did a post the other week, and I said about the thing I like about this game is that how your rivalry and your bitter rivalry can turn into one of your lifelong friends. And I had a picture of me sitting under center, and directly in the screen of view is LeVar Fisher looking dead at me. And right now, one of my good friends as well. So that's what I remember. We're trying to one up him, he's trying to one up me, and those type of things. So that was one of those close games that you enjoy playing because they had some passionate fans that really made it tough to play in their hometown. So shots to NC State.
So real quick, I know where you're going, Keys.
Yeah, set them up.
But Woody, I just wanted to ask, it's been I want to say about maybe 20. Has it been 20 years? It's been about 20 years.
Yep.
Since you played at Clemson, and you're still top 10 all-time rushing.
Mhm.
So, Shipley's coming for you. He's coming for you. He's got an opportunity. I think he might be at number 13, number 14 right now. But he's probably going to be the next running back to clips those yards. And as a quarterback, just being in that conversation, man, that speaks a lot.
That's special.
Yeah. So go ahead, Keys.
So speaking of that, I mean, I got some things here, man. I don't know how well you can see that. February 4, 2002, the state newspaper.
I remember that.
I need to get them laminated. I need them signed. You know what I mean? So we got Woody the runner. Talk about the Threads runner. Then we also had I still got Woody the passer too, because I used to do that when the state paper came out every day. I used to read the game previews, especially when it came to North Carolina. They had the good breakdowns and all that. So yeah, man. I still got the nail you. I still got the clippings. I still got tickets. You know what I'm saying? So I just clearly remember all that.
Missing one of those. It's a 3-part series. There's one more. Where's the other one? Where's number 3?
That's all I got, man. Hey, my mama told me a couple months ago, like, yeah, we was cleaning out your room. We found a whole bunch of stuff. You need to come get it. So I came. I'm like, oh, snap, y'all. Why y'all tell me? So yeah, man. So yeah, we still got that, man. Like, great times. Like them teams, man. The 2000 team, 2001. Like I said, I clearly remember that 2001 North Carolina State game where you just went crazy. You went the wrong way on the option. You're supposed to go right. You're like, nah, let me go over here. And
I don't know if you ever seen that version of the replay where they actually bring the coaches in to talk about individual plays.
Yep.
And if the coordinator was saying, which I didn't know, he said if it was, the last play of the game and you as a defensive coordinator found out that they were running the option to try to score, this is the blitz you would call to stop the option that he called. He said, but guy came through, he missed me, I cut back and scored a touchdown. He's like, it's one of those things like, oh, we're in trouble. But again, it's not just one of those games where you just feeling nothing can go wrong.
Yeah. You threw in the Ben Hall, the tight end. He was a good tight end.
Yep.
Derek Hamilton's one of our all-time favorite players too. He was a little bit after that. But yeah, man. So good times. I got the state newspaper. I don't know about the third part. It might be still at the house somewhere. It's probably still at the house somewhere, man. But definitely great times, man.
Yeah.
So we also wanted to just kind of give you an opportunity to talk about your foundations, the training, and also I wanted to ask you, have you ever considered acting?
Tell them why,
man.
Hold up, where that come from? Where did that come from?
So I was looking at your Instagram, and I think you were speaking at a HR event.
Yeah.
And you were acting as if you were in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And afterwards, you asked everybody how they felt in that moment, feeling helpless, and what can I do? And I actually, it's on your Instagram, so I'm like, is he okay? What, hold on, who filmed? And then afterwards, I was like, oh man, you had me. So I was like, man,
hey,
he might
how
have
about the crazy story that next day? Well, it wasn't the next day because he finally saw it, but he thought it happened that night. So he stopped a good friend of mine. Again, we didn't play them, but Quincy Carter, real good. I call him Big Bro. That's my big bro because I met him when I got to Dallas. That's my big bro, man. I love that dude. And he actually called me that next morning. It's like 7:30. I'm on my way somewhere to work. And he called me, hey, man, you all right? What you mean? He said, yeah, I'm fine. And I think he just asked me if I'm all right. He said, no. He said, man, because you scared me. And I saw your video. And I was like, oh, wow.
Man.
I was like, no, man, that was part of my. I said, you must be able to watch the rest of the video. He said, no, man. I turned it off. I had to call you and find out he was okay.
Yeah, man. You had me, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, you know what? That was a great question to ask. Like, are you prepared? What may come your way? Are you prepared? You want to talk about that? You're speaking and mentorship and all that.
Yeah, because my big thing is, like I mentioned earlier, each generation is supposed to set the next generation to go further. And I want to do my part because I talked about different people, my dad, my uncles, I mentioned the different guys that I played with, how much they poured into me. They poured in me to enough to get to a certain point, and now it's time for me to do it. So that's why I do the speaking, because I'm a firm believer that everyone is gifted birth and has greatness inside of them. The issue is not everyone realizes that. So my job when I speak in front of a group of individuals is to help to recognize that greatness, unlock it, and then walk in it for the rest of their lives. And that's why, especially, I love kids. I think that's that's my true calling, that's my true passion. That's why I started a mentor program. I got a group of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders at a local middle school where we sit down every other Friday, maybe every Friday, and we just talk through. DR squared is what it's called. Stand for discipline, respect, and responsibility. I teach them discipline, and I teach them about respect, and I teach about responsibility, and all that goes into becoming a man. But the biggest core component is to get these jokers to think. I challenge the way they think. I challenge the status quo and, really get them to think through situations. I ask them a million questions because you can't explain yourself to me if you're just doing something to do it. And so we have real in-depth conversations. And man, I tell them, just stick with me. I promise you, my goal is to get you where you want to go, but just got to get them thinking differently. So for me, it's just all about pouring back. And that's even moving into my training. 1, 2, 3 fundamental foundational training. That's just me, again, taking what's been poured into me because I see something missing. I forgot exactly who said it, but they said, if you see an issue, if it bothers you, then you probably God has called you to do something about it. So I see these kids out here don't really understand the fundamentals of the quarterback position. They're not getting that good training. So hey, my friend, again, I mentioned Ramon Robinson. He's the one, he's been doing training for years. He's been trying to get me to do it ever since we met. But I finally decided to jump into it. And I've been doing it for about 2 years now, man. It's just such a great satisfaction to watch these kids grasp a concept and then take it to that next level. So my whole goal is to help these individuals, whether I'm sitting in front of a bunch of HR professionals, in front of a football team, some corporate professionals, or I'm just at a local high school, or just out somewhere sitting talking to somebody at local QT. My whole goal is just to get them to call for me and be able to realize the potential that they have, being willing to go through the process to get it done, or to realize it and walk it. Now, once you reach your peak, you can reach your grasp, pull them up, and then thrust them to do the next generation. So that's why I do what I do, because I want to see lives change. And I truly believe I've been gifted with the ability. I don't see people, I don't see bad people. They may have some bad traits, but what I do, I've been gifted to be able to see that greatness on the inside of them. So that's the person I did. You can be cussing at me, you can be fussing. I've had some good conversations on Facebook with some guys who we don't even believe alike, but the respect of the conversation is just beautiful. We both grow from that. So stuff like that's just my goal. That's my challenge. So I love to do.
That's awesome, man.
Awesome. Yeah. Each one teach one.
Yes, sir.
And here's the best part about it. Most of the time, I think I learn more, especially when I'm in the room with those kids. If you had a problem with being arrogant or being prideful, go sit down with a group of middle school kids. They'll humble you real quick. Real quick.
I believe it.
I learned so much from you guys because I have to. They say if you can't take a complex issue and break it down to something so anyone can understand it, then you don't really know it. So they really push and stretch me to, okay, I'm gonna watch 2 shows. I'm not gonna watch 6. So I can get over here and read this article I can read this article. I can take a listen to some of the stuff, look at this different stuff and get some information and knowledge, make sure I understand it. So when I'm reiterating to them, I'm not just throwing out information. I actually have stuff that I know, understand, and I can articulate to them because, their discernment meter is higher than most adults, all adults really. They can detect BS. They'll call you on it real quick. So got to be authentic because they know what BS is.
Man.
Okay. Cool, man. What else you got for him? B-EAY?
Man, Woody, man, this has been a great interview, and
Awesome.
I feel like I've learned so much, and you really, so, just with this whole podcast, journey that me and Keys are on, we started out and really just wanted to, just kind of show our fandom and just talk sports, right? We know a lot. We've been fans forever. And the one thing, just getting started kind of was a little challenging when we said we just got to do it, right? And just having the opportunity to interview you has been awesome. And each week, we get more and more nuggets. And man, we just love it. We just, I just wanted to say we appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all kind of remind me when you mentioned that. It reminded me of, I remember even starting with my business, my LLC. I procrastinated for so long because I didn't feel like I knew what to do. I knew how to do. I want to get all the information. And then today, I just said, okay, Google how to start an LLC. Fill this form out, pay $125. Now you got an LLC. Go get your EIN number. Now you're a legitimate business. What? So I wasted years thinking it was more complex than what it was. And we do that so much. We doubt ourselves. So again, another thing, what I'm teaching to these kids, I got to actually implement myself. So I'm with you guys.
Yeah. Piggyback off what B said, man. We really appreciate the time. Appreciate you for being who you are, being a mentor out here, and showing kids there's better ways, and you do learn from kids, man. I mean, you do. I mean, you think you teaching them something. You know what? Man, I ain't even thought about it that way. Okay,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? So, yeah, we definitely appreciate that, man.
And I just encourage you guys to keep doing this, man, because I'm a big fan of just conversation. Gotten to the point where we can't have true conversation. Well, we agree on something, we can have conversation. But when you coming from different spectrum of different viewpoints, of different thought patterns, people do not have those conversations, those respectful conversations. So, I appreciate you guys standing up, getting this done, and doing your thing on this platform, man. It's commendable. I just appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it too. And like we were saying, the hardest thing to do sometimes is to get started. So we got started, and now with you, man, you put a battery in our back, man. You don't even know, man. So we definitely appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, I'm a quote guy. One of my favorites is by Martin Luther King, and he said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step."
Yeah.
So,
I'm definitely quoting that, and I'm putting that up in the room, man.
Yeah, let's put it up, man.
Well, appreciate it, Woody. Is there anything else you got? Where can people find you? Like, you're still in South Carolina in the
I'm in the upstate, so I do a lot of traveling because I'm in sales, but still, social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I'm on all of them. Posted, trying to do better at posting my stuff out, getting it out. But yeah, I'm easy to find. And one of the probably most easiest ways to get me is my email address, info@Dantzler3, that's DANTZLERII.com, info@Dantzler3.com. But yeah, you can message me on Instagram, Facebook. Sure, I'm on LinkedIn too. So you can. I'm not as Prime would say. I'm not hard to find.
Yeah. I'm here.
There you go. You guys heard it first. All right, Woody. Appreciate you. It was a blessing.
Yes, sir.
Clemson legend, football legend,
South Carolina legend.
Legend. Just a great all around individual. Keep doing your thing, and we out.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you. Salute.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you.